Hello, how are you today? Welcome to my sculpting channel and more. My name is Carlos, and today, if you want to know how to create a concrete sculpture of a pumpkin, keep watching. And the first thing that you need is your cement mix. There are many recipes out there. The reality, just to save time, what I like to do is just to get pre-mixed bags. I'm gonna show you, this one is the one that I use and is really cheap. It's around $7. I have to say that I use 2 of them to create this sculpture. Remember, the most important thing is that you want mortar. You don't want just a cement mix. If it says cement mix, don't get it. You want mortar, because this mortar is just sand and cement. Doesn't have the aggregate or these huge rocks, and you don't want that. So you want just mortar. Make sure that it's mortar, and that's the one that we're going to use today. And another thing that you need is this tape. This special tape is a little bit thicker, is like a grid. This one I got it at Home Depot. If I can find it on Amazon, I'm gonna put the link below. Check the links. I'm gonna put all the things that I'm using that you can get online. Of course, anything else I got it from Home Depot or Lowe's or Menards. Basically, we're gonna use this tape. It's gonna be the bones of our structure, is what is gonna put everything together. Now it does work, but because my sculpture is a little bit big, I was afraid, and something I always use is chicken wire. You don't have to, more if you're doing something smaller, but chicken wire is easy to use. It's really bendable. The most important thing is that you use thick gloves, more for like gardening, because it's easy to cut yourself. So if you're doing that, just be careful to create the whole structure. Another thing that we're gonna use is an exercise ball, or any type of ball, plastic ball that you want to use. And this is where we're gonna put our cement and shape our pumpkin. And of course, water, and we're all set to start our pumpkin. And just to make sure, remember safety first. When you're working with cement, use gloves, use a mask. When you're mixing your cement, you don't wanna breathe that. So make sure to be careful, to read all the warnings on all the products that you get, and just to be safe. So let's start. So there's many techniques out there to create your pumpkin. The easiest thing, and this is not the way I did it, but the easiest thing is to have a mix that is kind of like a thick paint, and brush like a layer of cement all around your exercise ball, and then put some of the tape, create another layer, and so on. And that's kind of a little bit of the way. Why? Is because having your exercise ball is going to be a smooth plastic. It's going to be hard to put your cement. The reality, like I said, I didn't do it that way. I didn't really have much time, but I suggest one of the things is to cut in tiny pieces your tape and have them somewhere, and then do your mix and apply all over your piece, and then just do layers and layers. The way I did it is that I have my exercise ball, and I tried to use the chicken wire because I was like, this tape is not going to be strong enough, so I wanted to have the chicken wire to give it better support. It wasn't working really well, so I just put that aside. I did grab a piece and just squeeze it to create the stem out the pumpkin, and basically I try just to do it. I don't know if it is because I put the chicken wire on top when I was trying to create the structure. I don't know if I punctured the ball. It didn't have enough air, so when I was trying to work, I realized everything was wobbling, moving, so it wasn't gonna work. I tried to do a little bit on top just to see if I can let that dry. It will allow me just later to create everything. Of course, it didn't work. And I was really disappointed. It was like 1:30 in the morning, so I was tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. I worked next day. So what I did just is wrap everything around. That's a really good idea. It will also give you a place where to put the cement. The only thing that I did wrong is that I didn't cut pieces. I just did it really fast, and I had this folded tape that because I did it in tiny layers, every time that I waited next day to keep working on my piece, these fold things push the cement, crack some part in the edges. I could have probably get away if I had the time to do it everything at once and put a thicker layer, but I didn't do it that way. And I'm telling you all these tips just to make sure. I know a lot of people complain that I talk too much, but I think they're useful tips to know all the mistakes that I did so you don't make them. Basically, start just on the top and slowly. You're not gonna see it on the video, but basically I just did a tiny mix. I had to wait for one day. I did another tiny mix. I waited for another day, another mix. I waited for another day. And when I say waited for another day, it was like 24 hours, but you don't have to wait. Reality is, even if you put the cement in a few hours, it will be enough to put another layer, or you don't have to be completely cured. And cement takes years to really fully be cured, so you don't have to worry about that. For me, it's because either I had to go to sleep or I had to go to work. That's why I had to wait, and it took me longer than I expected. But you just keep working as much as you can. Like I said, this project could be done probably in 2 or 3 days easily. To me, it took me 2 weeks just because of how my life is. One other thing that happened when I had like kind of structure and I was checking where the eyes socket were gonna be. I waited for a day, and when I came back it was on the floor. Even if I put things around to make sure that I wasn't moving, that I was gonna support. Of course, some parts, even if I'm trying to smooth everything, some part probably was heavier than others, and then it went down. It didn't really crack or anything, but something that happened is in the edge, the plastic ball was detached, and now the edge, instead of being rounded, it was like straight. So basically what I did is I turned my pumpkin upside down and I just push the edges. So that was just easy to keep going and put more layers and slowly build up. One other thing also is in the mount. I have to say that I think I lost, and I'm sorry that my camera wasn't recording when I was creating the more details of the mouth. But one other thing that I did on the bottom and also on the top lip between the eyes and the mouth was to add some chicken wire, because I know it didn't seem to be really strong. I just put cement, a layer of the tape, then more cement, then the chicken wire, then cement, then more tape, and then cement again. So just to make sure that it was strong enough. Also, I had this similar to chicken wire, I don't know the name, but they sell them together. They're in the same place. They're tiny squares instead of the diamond shape of the chicken wire, and they're really strong, really hard to really bend. So this was perfect just for creating the teeth. And the same thing, doing layers and layers. So over here, because I have it upside down, I know when I'm gonna flip it again, it's not gonna be that easy to work on the bottom. So I'm trying just to put all the details. I use my hand to create the whole pumpkin, nothing else. But I have to say that I'm gonna leave in the description these pottery tools. They're really useful if you wanna do perfect details, tiny details, and they're really cheap, so that's something that I recommend. Something also, when you're using your hand, you're not gonna have a perfectly smooth surface. You're gonna have tiny leftovers, if you can say, and this could be really sharp. So one of the tools that I use is this metal grit thing that it will sand the mortar. Really useful, and it will leave a really smooth surface. So I recommend to do that. Just remember, the thing that I did is after I put the last layer of cement after the tape, I add another layer of cement. So when you sand, you won't go all the way to the tape or the chicken wire. So it's something to think about it. If you're ready to sand, just make sure to add an extra layer just to be safe. When I was on top, I wanted to leave a space so I can pull the plastic ball and be able to just have my empty pumpkin. But then when I was ready, I just flip it over, and I realized that because I put too many layers and more cement at the bottom, The top, I think it just was a little bit heavy, and I have a small crack. It's not big deal. So the way that I fixed it, it was just to put another mix. Chicken wire, actually I put tiny pieces of chicken wire all over that area and just put cement. Pretty sure that that will be strong enough. It was moving a little bit. It was kind of steady, but I didn't know if the bottom, because I have that opening, it wasn't gonna be enough to hold the whole pumpkin. So I decided just to put it on the floor, just to be safe. I put my stem for that. I just grabbed the wire that I did before, and I just put it on top, add some cement, some tape. I had to wait. I couldn't create the whole thing. I didn't have a support, so I waited for the bottom of the cement to cure, and then the next day I keep going creating the other part, and even another extra day just to create the details and smooth everything a little bit more. I haven't said it, but you have seen it on the video. Every single time that you're adding new cement, know that you waited a day, or that you can see that the cement changed color, it's more gray, it's not wet anymore. You have to use water to be able to put more cement, otherwise it's not gonna hold that much. The thing of the cement is that absorb water, so that water that you put on top and the cement that you put on top, both cement are gonna absorb the water and just become one. So really important to put water every single time you're using more cement when you're working with new cement. And basically that's it. This is my pumpkin. I really like how it turned out. I'm actually impressed with myself, and I'm just saying it because I'm not that good yet, and I want to share that journey with you. And hope you create your own. Happy Halloween. And please check the links below. There are associate link. If you get something, I get a commission at no cost to you, but they're there if you want them. And also subscribe, comment if you want to see any project. I try to do sculptures with different materials. Enjoy art and see you next time.